Today we're going to look at the drawing tool that's in the geometry sticky of Classpad.net. So I'm going to show you how to use it, and then I'm going to show you some ideas of how drawing can really help students quickly connect to geometric thinking. So you need to get a geometry sticky. This is Classpad.net, and so to do that you can click somewhere and go to the geometry icon. This brings up a sticky, and you'll see that the default is this tool that we'll call drawing. And the beauty of it is you can literally just draw. So let's say you are working with students and you say, I'd like everyone to draw a triangle. So they just use this tool and draw what they think a triangle is. And so notice that my drawing, and I'm just holding my mouse down, my drawing does not have perfectly straight lines or anything like that. But when I let go, the drawing is automatically turned into a precise mathematical object. And that's the beauty of the drawing, because now students, maybe they should all have a completely different triangle, but now we can start comparing what's the same about our triangles, what's different about our triangles, and the sides are all straight and the angles are right. So you could do measurements. You could now also dynamically move things around and measure, and then use your other tools if you want. But the nice thing is you can just draw something very quickly. So let's try, let's pull up another sticky and do a different shape, just to give you some examples. So let's say I say make a four-sided shape. So again, default is, and so there's my four-sided shape. They all make a different four-sided shape. Let's say I say make what you think a circle is, and so they can use their finger or their mouse to make the shape, and then the program automatically turns the drawing into something more precise with straight edges, perfect angles, circles. But now what also is nice, because you've done this drawing, let's say over here I'm working with triangles. Every student now has a triangle, but they're all obviously very different, and we talk about what is a triangle and we can come up with a definition. But then let's say we want to talk about a certain type of triangle, perhaps an isosceles triangle. So I can then say, you've drawn this triangle, you've all got it different, select two of the sides, and it could be any two sides, and go up to this tool called adjustment and make those sides congruent. And now they all have an isosceles triangle, and so now we can compare the isosceles. Maybe we've measured the sides and we see that those sides are the same and that these angles are the same. So just from a simple drawing of a triangle, you can immediately start exploring different aspects. If I clicked in the middle of the shape and went to adjust, everyone could hit regular, and everyone now has an equilateral triangle. Same thing over here. Let's say this is a square. I mean, it's a four-sided figure, and I want the students to make a square. So I would simply say, everyone click inside whatever your four-sided figure looks like, and go to adjust and hit regular. And now everyone has a square. So what do we notice about the square? What are the attributes that are now all similar? You have different size squares, but what's the same? What's different? Those types of things. So just from a very simple drawing, so this tool is just a drawing tool, and it will turn imprecise drawings into precise geometric objects and let you then explore. So that's the simplest, is just drawing things. If we come down here, another thing you can use drawings for, don't want to have to teach students how to necessarily measure, and you want them to just kind of maybe answer some questions. Here's an example of a question where, can you make a polygon that has three right angles but it's not a quadrilateral? And so they can use their drawing tool. They don't have to be all that precise, because we're going to use this grid to help us make right angles. So let's say they say, okay, I'm going to start here, and there's one right angle, there's a second right angle, and let's make a third one, and then it doesn't have to be, I could connect this way. So what is that shape? Oh, it's a five-sided figure. So I have mine as a pentagon. Is there another one that I could possibly do? So this is the exploration of things that they could quickly draw without having to be super precise, because the software program will automatically take their imprecise drawings and make them more precise. But notice I was trying to do right angles, and so I made sure that the background was a grid where they could draw on the grid to make those right angles, and then the program forced it to be precise. So nice ways to use the drawing. Over here, here's an object that is a 3D object, right? And I might say, can you draw the different sides or faces of this object? What do they look like? So now they can use their drawing tool, and let's actually turn off the labeling. Okay, let's use our, oops. Let's use our drawing tool to try and draw the faces of this object. And move it down a little bit. So here's my drawing tool. So I know I have this one rectangle here. So one of the faces is a rectangle. Oops. That's that front face. And so they could just now use their drawing tool to be a little, it's not exactly right, but we can adjust it later. And then we've got the side here that's a little longer. So this side, and they don't have to be precise, they're just kind of going through the side so we can talk about the different, there's two of those, so I need two of these, so then they could duplicate. So drawing can make things more efficient and quickly done, and then made precise by the tool itself. And so now I could make this be congruent or adjust it to be congruent, those types of things. So drawing is a quick and easy tool that lets you start exploring geometry very quickly. So it's in the geometry sticky. It's sort of the default tool right here, and you can just start drawing things and it will make them precise.